Happy new month, my fellow traders. Today, being the first day of June, we're going to be picking up from where we left off in regards to movement in Bitcoin, right? So with that said and done, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like, because I'm sure you are going to love this analysis, just like you love all my other previous analysis, right? You're going to like this one too. So with that said, we're basically going to go into what we talked about last week in terms of what we was looking for, right? As well as some of the moves that we can expect to get from Bitcoin this week, right? And the week after that, because I don't think this is going to be a quick 7-day move. I think it's going to go on maybe 14 days, maybe beyond, or it could be the whole month of June, right? But we would know because we're going to be following along with what Bitcoin is doing, so we're going to be able to track it quite well. So with that said, we're going to look into everything. So quick recap. So recap from last week's video was we had price, okay, above the high value area of the volume profile. That is all of this, right? That's the volume profile, and this is the high value area, right? So right now price is in the low value area of the volume profile, and this is it right here where it is, right? Another thing to add as well is that price is moving away from a low value node in the low value area, which is this over here. Okay, now in the last video that I talked to you guys about, I mentioned that if price did that, okay, we need to consider the possibilities of looking for shorts, right? Now in saying that, I'm not a financial advisor giving you financial advice. I'm just a regular person analyzing the market. I believe I'm relatively good at it, hence why I'm sharing my thoughts with you, and hopefully as you see my analysis, hopefully you will come to that same conclusion, right? Either or, it doesn't matter, because I can only learn as I do this. The more I do this, the better I become. So it doesn't matter if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter if I'm right. So long as I'm doing this, I will improve, and so long as you're doing this, you will improve too. So I believe price is going to be coming down, but at the same time, I also want to be mindful as to potential, as to what it could do on its way down. So the first area that I've identified, and I just put this on before I started the recording, is this low value node area right here. Okay, so you have another low value node area. Another low value node in the low value area of the volume profile, and that's that right here. Okay, and another thing as well, please forgive me, sometimes I get tongue-tied in low value nodes, low value area, high value area, high side of high value area, low side of high value area. It just drags on, but hopefully you can follow along, right? And if I do make an error, do point it out in the comment section. I am not perfect. I do make mistakes. I don't plan on making mistakes, but mistakes happens, right? So just forgive me, because I've done like at least 4 takes, because I keep muddling up the words low value node, low value area in my attempt to explain what I'm trying to explain, right? So hopefully this take is going to work out quite well. So with that rant out the way, let's get straight into it. So I pointed out this low value node in the low value area, okay, and I believe that price may bounce from it. I don't think it will, but it could, right? So it could bounce from it and push back up again, right? But however, I think what price is actually trying to do, and hopefully I should be able to showcase this when I go back into the macro, which is actually wait, yeah, it's perfect. So even if we look at it from this view over here, okay, we can see that if we look at this ascending channel that price is in right now, look at this ascending channel, which is quite thick, because I believe price is going to come all the way down here. I could move this to about this level over here to make it make more sense, right? But I literally believe that the pullback that BTC is going to do is going to be a lot larger, hence why I've done it in the way. So it's a bit of a prediction on my part that I believe that price is going to come into this zone, because I am expecting it to come into the high value area on the low side, which is around here somewhere. Hence why I've drawn this in the way that I've drawn this. So normally I don't really like to predict the market, but I believe that we might get this move. I could be right, I may be wrong. Only time will tell, right? And if I am wrong, just forgive me. I mean, I'm literally just doing the best I can to make sure that this analysis is as solid as I can possibly get it. But do expect mistakes to be made. Don't think for a second that I have this down or that I have mastered this thing entirely. I am good, but however, I do understand my limitations, right? I do understand that. So hence why I also want you to be mindful of that too, right? So under the current conditions as to what we got right now, okay, especially if you're a long-term holder of BTC, right, I would be looking for entries for buys above 112k. That's this number right here, and that's this location right here. Okay, this location right here. So this is going to be a bit of a move that you could do, right? At the same time, the sensible approach will be looking for bounces from the low value node areas, okay, or areas very close to the high side of the high value area of the volume profile, which is this area right here, right, which is this area right here, because this is the high side of the high value area of the volume profile, which is all of this, because this is the high value area of the volume profile, right? So hopefully you've been able to follow along nicely with that, right? Now, in my opinion, what I think price is going to do, I think price is going to make his way into this area right here. That's what I think, right? I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but that's what I think. Based on what's taking place in the last couple of days, if I was trading Bitcoin, I would be in a sell right now, because my first condition of the sell that I was looking for, that was up here, right? And I put a little price label on it. That's that price label right here, 105k, and price is clearly now under that. And if we go in tighter in this area, so if you go in a little bit tight, what we will see is that we have another situation here that could help us in really following along and taking advantage of this situation, which is this FVG that we have in this area right now. So between today and tomorrow, we might get price tap into this zone, okay, and move down. If we close above it, then fair play is going back into the low value node area of, the low value node of the low value area, right? So if it closes above, it's heading back here again, right? Which basically means you can kind of prepare yourself to hop in on a buy, knowing that it's going to be moving in that direction. So from the point of entry, you should only be seeing blue and green with no reds, right? In my opinion, and that's how I like to see my P&L when I put in my trades. I'm not really trying to be seeing drawdown for too long. Preferably, I don't want to see any drawdown. Nobody does, right? So with that concept laid out, okay, we're going to go into a lower time frame. So we're going to go into that 1 hour right now. So we're going to go into the 1 hour. We've got everything laid down. And what I want to do is I want to look at this week, right? So that is today and last week. So up to last week, Monday, and then the week after that, right? So once I've laid those two concepts out on the chart, we're going to look for weekly lows and weekly highs, right? So I already know, because obviously I've been tracking this for a while, that this area here is the low of the previous week, right? Of the previous week to this week that we're in. I'm going to mark this area out now. Mark it out now. Sorry. Just drag a line across it. Let me just make this low value area. I'm going to drop this on there, and I'm going to make the line a little bit thicker, and then I'm going to change the color to say red so it really pops. Okay, so that's the area right here. Let me put in my vertical levels on here. So Sunday, so that's today. Okay, so we got end of this week, that's here. That's where I put the first one. And then we're going to look for last week, Monday. So that's that locked in. Okay, so you could say the low of the week for this week, we got it on the Saturday. That's it down here, right? And then we're going to find, so that was a Tuesday, and that was a, oops, actually that actually is wrong. I called that entirely wrong. Okay, I take that back. It has not been taken out. apologies. That's just me just assuming stuff really early on, right? So it hasn't been taken out. Weekly low down here, that has not been taken out at all. Okay, weekly high up here, we can disregard that. New weekly low is down here somewhere, and the new weekly high is, we can comfortably say that's up here. Okay, that's for this week that we're in right now. And the weekly low that I've just highlighted is off the previous week, which is this section that we're looking at right here. Okay, so based off that, this is what I'm kind of anticipating, right, to take place. We already have price move very close to the FVG that we've derived from the day, this zone right here. Okay, and we can now clearly see we have a channel in this area, right? We can see we have a channel in this area. Okay, so I'm basically expecting price to come into this area right here if I was to put in a trade for BTC. Okay, right? And regardless of where I put my stop, I won't think about adjusting my stop in any way, shape or form unless I get a move up here and a close in this area over here, right? At this point, wherever I have locked in my trade, so if I've locked in my trades, say over here, then I would need to consider, okay, maybe bringing my stop to just above the FVG that we derived from the day. That will be how I would be playing it. Naturally, if we get price close below this level right here, which is what I would hope for, okay, then it would only make sense that I bring my trailing stop off that trade down here, knowing that from that point, I'm trading risk-free. So with that said, let's just put some visual aids. Let's get rid of this again. Let's put some visual aids on the chart just to give us a bit of an idea as to how we can kind of behave moving forward, right? So what I would do is this. I would put in a limit, and by the way, this is not financial advice, right? It's not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Everything you do is on you. So I would put in a limit about here somewhere. So I put in a limit order about here somewhere. And what I would do is I would cover this area over here in regards to my stop. I'll keep it a little bit ambitious and I'll just keep it in this area. Ideally, I should have it down here, but it's too tight. So I'll just keep it over here. Just give it a little bit of room. If it's going bad, then obviously, you know, it's going bad. We'll just step away from it, take the hit and just keep it moving as we do. And then what I'll do is with my stop, I'll be a little bit ambitious. So I will drag it all the way down to the high side of the volume profile high value area. So it will be around this area right here. Okay. Now the idea is this. If price closes below this level right here, I am happy to say that I can bring in a trailing stop to lock in at this level, which would be quite tight, or I could play a little bit ambitiously and bring in a trailing stop down here. But I have to be mindful I could get stopped out really, really early, right? So the next plan would be, instead of doing it in that way, I'll bring a trailing stop up here, which is going to be quite tight, right? And it would have given us a confirmation that the previous weekly low had been taken out, and the new weekly low of this week would have been taken out, because we're talking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. So this low over here, if this is indeed the weekly low, that would have been taken out, and this weekly low over here would have been taken out to fulfill the requirement of the action that I plan on taking in this location. I would have gotten both indicators to say that price is going down, as well as the support from the volume profile itself. So at that point, I'll be relatively cool and I would wait for price to get to this zone right here. At this point, this is where I would bring in my fixed hard volume profile, not volume profile, trailing stop. I will lock it in. I would lock it in right here. So right here is where I would lock in that TP. That will not be getting moved, right? Because I've done quite well, in my opinion, based on how much I would have gained, and my TP would have been set at the bottom. If the TP is hit, fantastic. If the TP isn't hit, fantastic. Either way, good news all around, right? That's how I would play the entire situation, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave everything as it is right now on the screen, and hopefully on the next video we come back, we will see how right or how wrong I was in my assessment. So that's going to be something that hopefully you guys will look forward to seeing when I do the next analysis, which will either be on Sunday or Saturday of next week. So with all of that said and done, once again, I have poured my heart out in trying everything I can to deliver the best analysis possible, right? And with that said, make sure you hit that subscribe button, you turn on the notification, and you drop us a like. And I will see you all on the next one.